If there's one thing I almost always adore, no matter what it is, it's narrow gauge railroading. This is not helped by Thomas and Friends. I adore the Skarloey Railway and the engines on it. There's the Culdee Fell, which is nothing if not inspirational. But above everything, in terms of wonder, I'd say, is Arlesdale, the miniature engines and the miniature railway. Now, this made quite the comeback in the later end of the CGI series, had some of my favorite characters and stories in the Railway series, but it also confused me a little. I mean, we all know Rex, Mike, Bert, there's Jock, and of course, the hot-headed little diesel, Frank. Frank is the only diesel we really hear about in any stories, though, so, I mean, he must be the only diesel who works there, right? Oh wait, there's 4 diesels? What kind of shit? The Island of Sodor, Its People, History, and Railways is a book written by the Reverend W. Awdry. Now, this book gives you a pretty extensive history on everything there is to do with Sodor, as well as every railway on it, not just the Northwestern. And it's in this book we're told of some Arlesdale natives that really aren't so native to us, or the stories of Arlesdale. In specific, we have 3, and as you probably can expect, that's what we're talking about today, so let's jump into it. The Sigrid of Arlesdale is an engine that, like the others on this railway, has a real-life basis, that being the Shelagh of Eskdale, from the Ravenglask and Eskdale. In terms of Sigrid specifically, however, she was designed by Ivan Ferrier and built in Stratford, England in 1969. So in Sigrid's original design, she was supposed to utilize a Ford 4-cylinder engine, but after extensive trials, it just wasn't enough. Later, she was given a 6-cylinder Perkins engine, which saw that performance increase all around. She's painted in a 2-tone blue livery, and she's also named after a Sudrian heroine, a woman from the 11th century who secured the defeat of the Norman invasion in 1094. Well, yeah, that's great and all, but what exactly does Sigrid do? Well, usually Sigrid is stabled at Arlesdale, not too far from the station, and this is because she runs employee service trains in the morning. This train sees the workers brought to their workplace in the early morning and later are picked up in the day. Usually the rest of her time is spent in Arlesborough, where she finds herself on an more or less inactive standby duty. So essentially she's the work engine and occasionally a relief train. And altogether definitely is a character I just would have loved to hear more about. The Blisters. No, this isn't what some of you guys form on your rear ends when you see all engines go Thomas. Believe it or not, the Blisters are actually 2 little diesels that helped with the construction of Arlesdale. Sadly, there's just very little information out there about these guys. But here's what we do know. The Blisters are 4-wheeled diesel tractor engines that each have a Lister engine. Now, like Sigrid, they do have a real-life basis, that being this engine, Cyril, on the Ravenglask and Eskdale Railway. And kinda like I mentioned earlier, were bought for the construction of the Arlesdale Railway in 1966. At this point, the railway is kinda built, though, so usually they perform maintenance duties and shunting at Arlesborough. Now, the nickname Blister kinda reflects how the staff feels about using them. So these engines, just like their real-life basis, just do not like starting on cold mornings. Now, that doesn't mean they perform any slower or weaker, but cold conditions and these lads just simply do not mix. And when it is cold outside, almost inevitably they will be a blister to the workers. Livery-wise, they're pretty hard to miss, being all black and featuring visibility or hazard stripes on their front and back ends. They're mentioned in the Island of Sodor, Its People, History, and Its Railways, and never mentioned or referenced ever again. But, hey, at least we know they exist, I guess. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals, my non-binary pals, those are the forgotten diesels of the Arlesdale Railway. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe for even more train content. It really does help me out. And if you want to see videos like this early or join these lovely people on screen for a shout out, be sure to check out my Patreon in the description. This month, I plan to do a giveaway of a Percy custom, and one lucky patron will be randomly selected come the 31st. So on the chance you're ever interested, be sure to join. Now would be a pretty good time. And I guess with all of that being said, this has been TrainBoy, and try to make today a good one.
Either subscribe, donate, or get the fuck out.